Hey, what's going on? You are listening to a seasonal Walk-Ins Welcome, where I am in full cold season.
Yeah, it's still cold.
Not just cold, like I feel like I have a cold.
Yep.
So I've got my bottle of water. I'm going to try not to cough into the microphone today. I've got a couple of throat lozenges, and I'm ready to rock.
I always laugh at the word lozenge.
Cough drop.
I know, but it's like it's a real name. Like, who came up with that name?
I wonder if lozenge is like a brand like Kleenex.
It might be, or just somebody's last name.
I could have said I had a Halls.
There you go.
Everybody knows what that is.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'll start with a question. Favorite flavored cough drop?
E. coli.
E. coli, huh?
No,
Okay.
E. coli, Re.
Let's go with
coli.
that. Let's go with that.
Not E. coli, Re. coli.
I was like, wow. Okay.
I like E. coli. What do you, Garrett? No.
I realize
I
you were
was saying
suicidal.
the tune in my head and came out as E. coli, so Re. coli.
I was like, wow. Okay.
Here we go.
This was what was in my medicine cabinet when I left today, but mine are the, and it's completely worthless. But it's the smoothie ones.
Yeah.
The Hall smoothies.
Those are good.
I'm like, these taste amazing.
They taste like candy.
They're doing nothing for me. I'm popping them like pieces of
I like
candy.
any of them to have honey
what's
or lemon. Like that tends to be the go-to.
This is honey and lemon, sir.
There you go. Well, one thing that I try to do every year but doesn't work out, I will go into our medicine cabinet and say, what's really expired? Let me get rid of some of that so I don't get, because I even the other day, Addie had like apparently it was a cut on her eye or something it touched her eye and it made a lot of pain. So we gave her Benadryl, but the kid's Benadryl, the newest one, was a year old. Like, it's fine.
If it's sugar-free, it's expired.
Okay.
All right. If it's sugar, it's probably fine.
Oh, that's interesting. Or
Well,
thick.
I learned this when I was at Coca-Cola. So aspartame, any of that stuff that's a sweetener type situation, one, is horrendous for you. But two, it expires way quicker than sugary stuff. So that's why you get the sugar crust around the rim of the NyQuil. Not what we're here to talk about.
Now we're talking about today, but this is very fascinating. Before we hop right into the episode, just to start more, we are testing out some new camera equipment. So we have one new camera. So far, it looks pretty good. And we're going to be adding more cameras to get different angles and a switcher and all these cool things just to kind of up the ante on our video production.
Y'all just wait till I bring in my video glasses.
Oh, yeah. And you got some meta glasses.
Yeah.
Have a POV from the podcast.
Yeah, I'm trying to hack it right now because it only let me record up to 5 minutes of video, and I thought it would do a lot longer than that.
Oh, that's kind of short.
Well, people are doing what they're doing is they're just cutting 5-minute clips and then putting them together.
Putting it all together.
But they didn't mention that in any one of the videos.
No, not at all.
Let me just tell you that.
Anyway, but so if you are somebody that always listens, doesn't watch the video, go watch the video and like look at the difference right now. This camera, we're running a Canon R50V just to try it out, and I think we like it, and so we're going to add more and then add a video switcher, and it's going to look really cool. We're excited for that.
Yeah, so go over to the YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe because it's just going to get better and better and better and better.
And video subscriptions, like we've had more subscribers recently in the past month or two than ever. So like
we need our little button. It's too far away right now.
Oh yeah, exactly. So we don't even know. Like, it sounds funny. We don't even know why. We just because we're putting out the content that we put out. But we've had more subscribers recently. We appreciate you guys. Please leave reviews. Please give ratings, and that helps everything for us. We love you for that.
Absolutely.
But let's get into the episode now. So this episode is titled "The Great Equalizer," and I'll be honest. This is Nick had come up with this, and he said, "I want you to look through it," and I couldn't believe what we're about to talk about.
Yep.
Because it feels like pie in the sky for years. But here we go.
Well, I spent a lot of time thinking about what you would be thinking about the audience, right? Like, what are the things that are keeping you up at night? What are the things that bother you? What are the concerns that you have? And so I went to work on putting together an episode based on what you care about, and that is your money, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Now, this is going to be either amazing news for you or you may not care at all. But we're calling it the Great Equalizer because the game is going to be changing in 2026. What's happening is the Center for Medicare and Medicaid has changed how hospitals are going to be reimbursed based on the care that they give. It used to be that you would pay, let's just say and I've got numbers broken down in here that we can look at, but an x-ray, if you did an x-ray at an urgent care, you would get one reimbursement, but if you went to a hospital and got
It'd be insane.
you would get a much higher reimbursement.
Oh yeah.
So this is the game changer. They're doing away with that for the hospitals. Now, granted, privately held urgent cares, your systems, it's not like you're getting paid more. What's happening though is they can no longer compete with you.
Yeah.
Not at the same level, right? Because they're a hospital system. They have built-in brand and logo. You're paying for the logo in the room, where for you, you're just paying for the doctor visit.
Yeah. Well, and so now, and you say it's Medicare, Medicaid related, which that means that system will start promoting, don't go to the hospital. Like, you can now go to an urgent, it's all equalized.
That's right.
And so there's some good possibilities here where the hospital will not be gaining as much revenue per visit as they used to.
Well, they're losing their advantage completely.
Yeah. Like and so now it's a little bit more even playing field. So even from like a marketing standpoint, you may have hospital systems that are dumping millions of dollars into what they do. Well, now they won't have as much money to play with as they once did, or they can't get the newest and latest and greatest equipment because now it's taking a little more effort to get to that point. And now they got to up their game per se, which that's a new challenge, right? If the hospitals are just like cash cowing things, and then now they can't as much, that makes a difference.
Well, this was the second highest, and no, I didn't memorize the other 5 searches, but this was the second highest search in the past 90 days by what clinic owners are searching for. So clearly it's a buzzword. Everyone is Googling site neutrality right now. And I think one of the important things to know is it's not a political thing. It's a financial thing.
Yeah. Well, it reminds me of really just the phrase neutrality. If you remember net neutrality.
I do.
So I think every industry goes through a neutrality standing point where there are some bullies in the industry, and sometimes you have people step in like, let's level the playing field a little bit here because this is becoming unfair. And sometimes it was never intended that way. It just kind of gets to that point by accident, like most things, and then somebody has to step in like, let's crack it a little bit and kind of smooth it out.
Well, what's really cool about this is that CMS is starting to pay the exact same rate, no matter if it's a hospital, independent. So the pay is now for the service being provided, not for where you're having that service done.
Yeah.
And that little bitty shift in ink,
yeah, right,
and paperwork,
a comma,
that is the leveling of the playing field, literally, right? Because that now allows everybody to play. Now we're all playing the same game. They were playing chess, and you were playing checkers. Y'all are all playing the same game now.
Yeah, right? Kind of reminds me of. I mean, this is a NASCAR reference, but when you're like in NASCAR, you all have the same mechanical limitations. It's all about the driver at that point, where you don't have a huge mechanical advantage over the next one because there's limits placed to make it more even.
That's right.
Honestly, make it more fun. And also that goes into now an urgent care really has to figure out their experience part.
Right.
I mean, because if it's now equal playing field on that side, at least now it's like, okay, well, I want to go to the better place that has a better experience. Because I don't have another reason to go to I've lost a reason to make a change, right? So that's fascinating to me, and I'm really curious, honestly, to see how hospitals react to this.
Well, so let me throw some numbers at you real quick. That this is just 3 different things that I was doing the research. I'll even give you the code. I even have the code in here. So, for a standard visit, like an urgent care visit, right? Or just a standard visit, code 99214. For an independent, it would be $135. But for a hospital, they would get reimbursed $215. That's an $80 difference, right? That's a patient, right? That's the difference in having to see 2 patients versus 1 patient, right? A chest X-ray, 71046 for those coders out there. $18 is the reimbursement.
That's sad.
$72 for a hospital, right?
It's wild.
That's 4 times more. 4 times more, right? IV hydration, for those of you who offer IV hydration, code number 96360, $65 for an independent, and then $160 for a hospital. That's $95 more. Again, this is the difference between having to see 40 patients per day versus 30 patients per day, or whatever it is, right? And it's not that the medicine or the care is better. It's just simply this facility fee.
Yeah.
Right. It reminds me of I've been recently looking at cars. It's the dealership fee.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
It's the same car.
If I bought a Tesla, I could go directly to Tesla. I can bypass all of those fees. I don't care how you feel about Tesla. I'm just making a point, right?
Yeah, direct to consumer.
It's direct to consumer versus I have to go to a car lot and they have a docking fee, a markup fee. There's the price of the car and 30 other fees attached to it. That's all the hospitals do. It's the exact same car.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I really think, and hospitals will agree, they really, an ER or whatever, they really don't want head colds, like basic upper respiratory, like non-life threatening things. They don't want them. Like, you can talk to any ER, like, we really don't want these to come in because it clogs up the line for the people that have a real emergency that need to be saved. Now I'm sure the owners of hospitals will argue differently, but I do think it's one of those, like, let's clear out the ER and make the urgent care more. This will make it more prevalent over time too, because from a hospital standpoint, they're going to push harder to say, please don't come in for an X-ray.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that
$18 ain't worth it.
No, and so I'm super curious if we'll see a shift in hospital advertising saying why an ER versus an urgent care, instead of the urgent care doing all the advertising, why ER versus urgent care. That would be real fast.
Imagine for just 1 minute that a hospital actually cared that you were there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, honestly, I'm not trying to beat up on hospitals. Okay, they're a very reactionary situation. ER is emergency. There's a difference between emergency and urgent.
Yeah, and that's something that a lot of people don't understand. That urgent is, need to figure it out. It would make me feel better. Emergency, like, I might die.
Yeah, two completely different, and y'all put it on like every phone tree that you have.
For emergencies, please hang up and dial 911.
If your chest is hurting, if you're bleeding out, if you're dying, don't come here, right?
Don't come into our lobby.
I like the fact that hospitals are going to have to finally know their role, just as urgent cares have had to know their role.
I was like, this is so bad, because the cool part with this, generally speaking, hospitals have bigger budgets, and so now they're going to shift their budget to, like, please don't, because if they're really going to get paid $18 for a chest X-ray versus 72 is just the example you gave, they are losing every time a patient comes in that's not an emergency.
That's right.
Unless they can convert, this sounds terrible, unless they can convert them into a surgery or a specialist. Which at this point, you would rather have the urgent care send for the specialist or a surgery. I'm fascinated. I wonder how many independent urgent cares are going to have relationships now with hospitals to get those people to come into the urgent care first and let that become a referral source.
It would be a good day when we could get urgent care clinics and hospitals to work cohesively together. Yeah. And on the same page,
but not actually be owned by the hospital either,
right?
Because we do see that, right? Like we have urgent cares that are owned by hospitals.
So let's talk about that for a second. And I think this is a point I wanted to make, but I actually left it out of my notes. You should stop seeing hospital systems acquiring urgent care clinics because it's not an easy win for them anymore. No. They can't just go in, acquire it, and because it's St. Vincent or UAB or you name the hospital
and
chain,
they get the higher payout.
That's disappearing, so there's no incentive for them to go acquire urgent cares anymore.
What I do wonder, because we saw that here. So Birmingham is kind of I don't say birthplace, but pretty much the birthplace of urgent care. And 3 or 4 years ago, we saw a chain. Well, it was about 5 years ago we saw hospitals putting out, like, here's an urgent care by St. Vincent, UAB, whatever. And then 2 to 3 years ago, they got rid of them.
Right.
And I wonder if it's because of this thing where they saw it coming and they're like, we're just going to lose dollars.
Well, I'll tell you what, we had to go to the ER not too long ago, and it was a standalone ER. We went out of our way to go to a standalone ER.
Freestanding, yeah.
But I will tell you that the experience, it was still an ER. It was still an ER visit.
And there's still ER patients there.
Exactly. But I will say that they are starting to understand, they are starting to grasp, they are starting to make the switch that we have to actually care about the people that are coming in here.
Yeah.
And they're making that switch in the personnel that they hire. They're making the switch in the cleanliness of the place. I know you think hospitals, you think inherently clean, but they're actually quite nasty.
Yeah. Well, and there are good people in ERs, but it's also chaos. Like my wife's been in the ER more than once, and it's amazing how long they'll leave somebody alone in a room and in pain. Just leave them alone. I'm like,
Right.
come on now.
I know. Well, I mean, honestly, they did that to Heather too.
Yeah, it's just kind of wild. And then of course with Courtney with her heart stuff, ERs actually say we can't help you.
Like, just after you sit there the whole time.
Yeah, like we actually can't do a single thing for you, but we're going to charge you $800.
That's right. Well, I think again, we're in the early throes of 2026, but I think the advantage that you're going to have is that being a lean operation is better than being a large operation.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that large operations can't run lean. I just make that delineation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, urgent cares, and you guys know, like you have to run lean or you're not going to run at all.
That's right.
Because every patient matters. Margins are tighter, all the things. But hopefully with this change here, you're going to see an increase in patients because hospitals just going to push back and say, please don't come here. I wonder if it has enough impact where they'll even say they'll deny patient care, and say you need to go down the block type of thing because they know they're losing dollars every time it happens. So,
well, I mean, technically speaking, they have to take them. Like,
yeah, they have to
take
take them.
Hospitals have to take you.
Yeah, and they have to take them, and they technically will have to care before they make you pay. But I'm just wondering if like their signage, their everything, even like their pamphlets, all stuff. Do you have this, and this? An urgent care may be a better spot, fix for you.
It's funny that you say that. When we went to the ER, it's been about, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago now. They have to care before they pay. I just now made that connection in that I thought it was weird that I signed in for Heather, and they didn't ask me for anything.
No. That's later.
They didn't ask me for anything.
They're gonna fix you as much as they can without referring. Yeah, they don't ask for hardly anything until you leave, and then you get a bill later. But
fascinating. I've never thought of it that way.
Yeah, and they have built in like what do you call it? Not wellness models, but basically what do you call that? Where anyway, but they have like charities, all these different things because we experienced that when we had Addie in the NICU, and so. They have programs built in where when you drop a baby off, it will be completely taken care of. You will not ever see a bill. Nobody will, and it will just be washed away. And that's part of the reason why I think costs are so high because there is that usage of that type of situation so often where my $80,000 bill for 8 days in NICU, which ended up being like $4,000 of or whatever, was $0 for the NICU baby that had no parents. So there's a balance, but it's interesting.
These costs get passed on for sure.
And they do. Somebody's going to pay for it.
Well, hospitals, they're not stronger. They're heavier. They're bigger. And, I've probably made this boat analogy before, but it's easier to turn a wave runner than it is a
pontoon.
A pontoon. And it's easier to turn a pontoon than it is a cruise ship.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So your ability, your nimbleness to adjust to what's coming down the pipeline in this neutrality is going to be a lot easier for you, the independent urgent care, than the hospital system trying to recover from what they're about to have to deal with. Okay. I'm not trying to beat up on hospitals. I have no problem with hospitals. I'm just saying that we serve the urgent care niche and I want to make sure that you're winning. You know what I mean?
Well, and I think if you don't have some type of relationship with your local hospital, you might want to think about considering it. At this point, because it could benefit you. It's almost like a B2B relationship of, hey, keep us in your mind. What can we put some of our stuff in your hospital as options for people? So anyway.
Well, I think one of the things that you could start thinking about now, and I'm moving on to point 5 here, Michael, is how can you weaponize, when I say weaponize, advertise would be a good way to say it.
Yep.
How can you leverage the transparency that's coming down the pipe as well? Because here's another thing that begins in April is hospitals now have to post their pricing.
Oh, yeah.
They have to post their pricing.
Technically, they've always had to, but they bury it.
Yeah, but now they have to. It has to be prominent. I can't go a single episode without talking about being a pilot, can I? So
we almost got it.
So close, but it makes sense. So I'm actually going somewhere with this. I have to have visibly the aircraft airworthiness certificate and registration visible to everybody in the plane to get in the plane. It has to be visible, right?
That's kind of funny.
Yeah, but that's something that it used to be you could hide it, throw it in the glove box, whatever.
So where do you stick it?
It's right. So it's right back here.
Ah.
But it's visible. It's in a little plastic sheet and it's visible where everybody can get access to it if they need it, right?
Do commercial airplanes have to have the same?
They do. I don't know where they keep it though.
I was like, they keep it buried.
But everybody has to do this if you're on a plane, right?
Oh, wow.
But there has to be transparency. Now, I have no idea why they required the airworthiness certificate unless a bunch of people were getting into planes that were not airworthy and they were crashing them. That's the only thing I can really think of.
I mean, to me, it's the concept of it's not technically law, but almost all elevators, I guess it's some type of law. Almost all elevators have their little elevator worthiness where it's been inspected by the state and it's safe still. And it gets real entertaining when you see one that's like 5 years out of date.
Or the one here that's like says 03.
Yeah.
That's terrifying, isn't it? But anyway, hospitals now have to put their pricing out there, which means if their pricing is out there, you can do a price comparison on your website. Literally, we're telling you to do local comparisons. So if your local hospital is Baptist Hospital, for example, you can go look at their posted pricing. And on your website for content, when somebody says, how much are x-rays, for example, you can put your price for an x-ray, and then you can say, here's Baptist price. And you have a side-by-side comparison.
Or leading hospital in area, or if you want to not do the Baptist part, right?
Whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like your local hospital, right? You can do that side-by-side comparison. You can post your pricing, and it will make total sense for you to do that. And people can actually pay for the health care they're receiving. Shock and all.
I tell one time I was curious. This has been probably 10 years ago. I was looking up UAV's cash price for everything, and they had us. I'm sure there's a new one out there now. It was a standard spreadsheet. You downloaded it, and it was amazing how much they priced things. So, what do you think the most expensive thing UAV hospital would do?
MRI.
Open heart transplant.
Oh, okay.
So a heart transplant. How much you think? Now this is years ago. It's probably a lot more now. But 10 years ago, how much you think a heart transplant was? Cash price.
$100,000.
I think it was $900,000. So basically unachievable without insurance. Essentially for most.
I'm sure insurance will find every way they can.
And the insurance price is going to be a lot cheaper or whatever. But it was like $900,000 to do a heart transplant, which is just comical to me. And I was like, what about like delivery of a baby? $30,000 was the cash price. Like it was just comical to read all this stuff, but it's what they put out there. And we had somebody we interviewed recently, and they talk about like their software helps find those things and compare and shop it for you type of thing. So you can have like real data for you, especially when you're going against your insurance and saying, I want to renegotiate contracts so I can see what's out there. But anyway, no, the idea that pricing is now like part of the game.
That's right.
Like we always we have all of our urgent cares that we work with. They always ask, should I put cash pricing on my site? We're like, yeah, because not everybody has insurance and they want to know what's the best deal if it is. They don't want to be surprised either. So if you have cash pricing like readily available and you're confident in your cash price, right. Please put it on there.
Well, I know we would consider ourselves middle class, upper middle class, whatever you want to call it. We would consider ourselves middle class people.
Yep.
And the reason I bring that up is Heather looked at me the other day and she goes, what would it look like if we just had major medical insurance and then we cash paid our own medical expenses and maybe even opened up an HSA or something like that? We're not the only people who are thinking this way.
Yeah.
Right? Which means what are we going to start shopping on? We're going to start shopping based on what we're going to be paying for the healthcare that we're going to get.
Yeah, and then that concierge model starts becoming an option, direct primary care, and all that stuff.
Exactly, which is a great business model.
Yeah,
and then it can cap very, very quickly, but people are willing to pay a monthly subscription to healthcare. But the reason I think people are looking at this more and more is just simply like insurance companies are finding ways to not pay your claims. They have a whole department that is just there to find ways and loopholes not to pay your claim.
Yeah,
right?
my most frustrating loophole, which I will get a bill from soon, is investigative. So investigative procedures is by default through Blue Cross not covered, and which blows my mind because we have a situation with my wife where there's a known problem she has, and all they do once a year or once every 2 years is measure the size of the problem. And the doctor always submits it as investigative. And we tell them, you are costing us $1,200 every time you do that. Why can't you just put it as normal? And they're like, it's investigative. It's like, no, it's not.
To you, it's not to me.
Like, to you, it's like you already know what's going on. You're just verifying. You're not investigating what the problem is. You know what the problem is. So it's just.
You could dispute that.
Oh, I tried.
Oh, and you still had to pay it?
Yeah, they don't care.
They came to the same conclusion. It's not bad. Ooh, don't get me started on how.
Because I went to the doctor first, and they're like, "We're not changing it." I'm like, "But you understand? You're going to get paid no matter what. But can you not come from us?" And then Blue Cross, like, they marked the investigate. We can't touch it. Like, well, blank.
I know, right? Well, that's okay. Good luck getting your money. See you later. I'll pay you $5 a month for the rest of my life, and they can never turn you into collections. That's another story for another time. Here's the deal: we got
some personal beef right now.
I'm good. I'm just saying, like we are actually actively thinking, how can we do our healthcare in such a way that we have more control by self-paying, self-insuring, however you want to do it. Mm-hmm. Looking at HSAs to be able to pay. And guess what we're going to be looking for on websites whenever we go to do this stuff? We're going to be looking for the pricing.
Yep.
So what is the biggest takeaway? One, research the area around you within the area that you serve. So a 5 to 7 mile radius. If you're out rural, 15, 20 plus. If you're on a block in New York, like 0.5, right? But the point is look at what the emergency rooms and the hospitals and all of that. Look at their pricing menu, see what is comparable to yours, and then start putting it on your website and start putting it in your buildings, because I think people more and more, 26 and beyond, I mean, not everybody with insurance is going around asking how much it costs, right? They're asking what the copay is. But I think that'll change eventually. Mm-hmm. I think it could anyway. I could just be dreaming. I don't know. I know we're thinking about it, and that couldn't be a coincidence. I think lots of people think that way.
Well, what's always interesting to me is insurance for the individual keeps going up every year.
Every year. That's another reason.
And there's no end in sight, right? Like there's no obvious disruptor to the industry that we can see right now. And so we're just going to naturally just pay more and more. You know, as a company here, we were able to reduce our overall costs on insurance this year for health insurance, because we were creative with Gap and all the things and basically kind of shifted the model, but it still costs a lot of money. Like that's one of the things I wish, I wish Courtney was a teacher, because I can take advantage of her health insurance,
right?
Because it's like $100 deductible for the year. It's amazing stuff.
Teachers do have the best insurance.
They do have at least in this state. I don't know about other states. State of Alabama, if you're a teacher, you have remarkable insurance, basically free. For what it is. So, and they just take care of you, which is amazing. But anyway, enough of that. But no, so it's cool. So you said April of this year is when it's supposed to all go down?
That's the research that I was able to find on it. Again, mine was based off of what are people searching for.
Yeah.
The very clear cut thing that I could find with April was going to be that they have to start listing their pricing.
Yeah.
When are they going to start coding differently? I think it'll probably roll into markets. A lot of that was just, it's going to be in 2026, and it was from, it was called CMA, which is the Center for Medicare and Medicaid. Yeah. They're the ones who are putting this out there. So I can also expect that that's probably going to start with government level insurance. And then eventually, as with anything, Blue Cross is going to,
they all adopt
is going to, you name it, is going to, what is the one that everybody loves to hate?
Oh, United.
Like they're all going to adopt a way to do. I mean, if the insurances can find a way to pay hospitals less money, they're going to adopt it.
Yeah.
And the government has essentially saying, we're going to do it. So it gives you permission to do the same.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So there you go. That's the episode for today. I wanted to encourage you that this year could be the best year in your urgent care. Yes, you have to get more patients. Yes, reimbursements are don't seem to be changing at all. Yes, overhead is getting more expensive, but at the end of the tunnel here, you don't have to fight a hospital.
No,
right,
well,
and that's the biggest win.
And I hope that hospitals will join arms with urgent cares and say, you guys are solving a problem that we don't want to solve anymore. and not be a competition type of thing. Now I know there are plenty of urgent care like ER physicians, like they don't fight urgent care. So like we even have a client that is an ER physician and they recognize the need for an urgent care and all this and the cost savings that could be passed along and all this stuff. So like it's a real thing. I think that they all see it. It's just maybe this will force a little bit of a shift in a positive light. But I'd love to hear feedback. So for those who are like dive deep into this and have like real like buy-in and have had conversations with hospitals, send us an email, hello@patientcaremarketpros.com, and let us know what you're seeing on your end. What do you think is going to happen as well? Because we're looking at what the research that we have, but for people that are on the ground with this on a regular basis, what decisions behind these doors are happening because of this that's coming up? I'd love to hear that.
Love it. Hey, with that, I got to say our mastermind is coming up and
it's happening.
You can't come. I'm sorry to tell you, I love you, but you can't come. You're going to have to wait for the next one because we filled it up.
Yes.
And I'm super pumped to have these clinics that are going to be coming in to Alabama and hanging out with us. And we're going to do I've been planning it. I've been pouring over it. I'm so excited for the topics. I'm so excited for the breakthroughs that are going to be happening with these clinics.
Yep.
And I hope that you hear that and you go, oh, maybe the next one that comes up, I'll be able to attend. I don't ever want you to do anything out of pressure, but I'm telling you, we're going to have a good time and it's going to be awesome. I'm excited about it. I hope you are too.
Awesome. Yeah. And it's just for us, yesterday was the day that it's like, oh, we just hit capacity.
Yep.
Shut it off.
Shut it off. It's done.
So,
all right.
So cool.
Well, listen, thank you for listening. As always, we want to help you get more patients, deliver better care, get repeat visits, and scale your clinics. Come back next week. We'll show you how to do it again. Talk to you then.
See ya.